some news out of La Liga that La Liga has filed charges to the relevant judicial, administrative, and sporting bodies in relation to the racist abuse suffered by Vinicius Jr. In the game against Real Valladolid last month on December 30th. Obviously, at the time, Vinicius Jr. said he was very unhappy at what he thought was a lack of action being taken. Javier Tebas responded, and now we know that La Liga has filed criminal charges. La Liga says it will also increase its ongoing efforts to eradicate any kind of violence, racism, or xenophobia inside and outside stadiums. The number of La Liga integrity officers present at matches where there is a risk of racist incidents will be increased in order to maximize detection and identification of this type of behavior. In stadiums where there is considered to be a risk of possible racist behavior in the stands, messages will be broadcast over the public address system and advertising hoardings surrounding the pitch to combat and condemn racism. I know what I think about this. Mike, is that anywhere near enough?
It's a load of crap. I think if you want things to change, and the fact that this isn't the first time this has ever happened in La Liga, it's really the first time that we've seen a player be very outspoken, a player that is one of the faces of your league, one of the stars of your league, combating it and going to the masses, going to things like social media. And we've seen what happens when you take to the media and make it your own to try and combat something as vile and awful as racism. You really want to make a difference, La Liga? Deduct points. Do something that's going to really affect these clubs. Because if you're going to say a PA announcement, that's laughable. I don't have any time for that. That actually makes me pissed that La Liga is even saying that. Yes, they're taking some level of action, but they're moving at snail's pace. This isn't going to make a difference if you do this.
And of course, we should say that there are plenty of other sporting bodies that we could level these charges at. UEFA, with their meager fines for racist behaviour. But if you let off a flare or if you delay kickoff, God help you. Nigel, what's your take on this?
I think Michael handled that fantastically well. I mean, it's just sad that we're talking in 2023, I believe. I just wanted to check what year we're in. So we're talking about a PA system announcement and advertising board. Come off it. You know, you look at some of the top players in La Liga right now. Michael said you've got Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid have just signed Endrick, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. You've got black players playing in your league, and you want them to feel comfortable. And you're talking about a PA announcement. And the fact is, they're saying that they're going to go to games where they feel that there will be racist abuse. That's every game. Like, that's every single game in Spain. Don't say you're going to pick and choose. And it doesn't help when the head of your, I believe it's the head of the agency in Spanish football, made a comment about Vinicius Jr. dancing like a monkey. When you've got someone in that power of position, in such a high position, making a comment like that, what do you think the idiot who goes and watches football, who's got no education, who's never mixed with anyone of any different ethnicity, is going to feel? He's going to feel comfortable and okay to racially abuse the player. And not to mention, Spain now have some actually black players playing in their national team. How are they supposed to feel? It's absolutely embarrassing. It's a joke. And like you said, James, as well, UEFA, FIFA, they have their own part to play in giving stiffer penalties at international level and also other competitions around the world.
Yeah, indeed. Thanks so much, Nigel and Mike, for talking about this, because it is ludicrous. It is debilitating. It is incredibly depressing that, you know, we have to talk about this that we have to talk about this on a podcast related to the beautiful game, because there's absolutely nothing beautiful about this. It should have been stamped out. Well, it should never have existed, and it's really sad. I think for someone like Vinicius Jr.
One thing to potentially add on that as well. I'd like to know sort of what the hiring policy is on those kind of integrity officers, because having spent quite a lot of time in Spain, sort of assimilating a bit of Spanish culture over the years for a while, I don't think they realize how ingrained it is in society. It's to them, it's not a huge issue. I always found that quite shocking. You know, when you go there and there's some things that are kind of like acceptable, almost kind of, you know, joked about, and it's really not a laughing matter. So I'd actually like to know sort of what these officers would kind of be trained to identify, and sort of how they would discern between what's okay and what's not okay coming from the stands.
Yeah, it certainly is a real challenge. And as JJ says, I think, you know, we all know from not just La Liga games, but maybe from international games as well in the past, in the recent past, that this is a problem that is rife in Spanish football. And I think Nigel made the very good point that if you are worried about, if you're only going to the matches where possible racist behavior could take place, that is every game. And frankly, that's not just the case in Spain, but it certainly is the case in Spain, and something we absolutely need to work a lot harder to stamp out. And I can only echo what Mike said. Yeah,
Dave, just add to that as well, because obviously we follow the Premier League a lot, and people say, oh, England's bad as well. But the difference with England is you're not going to receive the kind of abuse Vinicius Jr. received at a stadium full of 20, 30,000 away fans racially abusing him and everyone joining in thinking it's okay. In England, we have put a finger gangsters who could be from anywhere in the world, just want to racially abuse players because of what they've seen. And that's my point. It's the vision that they've seen, and they've seen it in the news and social media. So some people just join on the bandwagon thinking it's funny. And the Spain situation is very similar when, like I said, you've got that head of the agent association saying that comment, dancing monkeys. So now you've got a lot of Spanish people now thinking, now Vinicius Jr. has been made a target. I personally believe so, because of the comment of the head of the Spanish football agency. He's the one that started this whole thing to take it to another level.